33-year-old woman Penny Talbot has gone viral with an article detailing how much she loves her boyfriend's micropenis. When asked to comment on the viral story, Penny said, "I really want to do something to show what a caring girlfriend I am," before being interrupted by her boyfriend Jake Timms, who stormed into the house holding the article and screaming, "Penny, what the f*** is this? I love my boyfriend's micropenis."
Penny then responded by saying, "Yes, Jake, I wanted to do something nice for you, and I'm not going to apologize for trying to brighten your day." To which Jake responded, "You used my real name, picture, and actual measurements? Are you f***ing serious?" Before turning to the reporter and screaming, "And you have 5 seconds to get the f*** out of here."
Jake continued, "I tell this I'll pay the rent while she pursues her blogging career, and I walk into work to this. You know what? I've got an article. How about I still love Penny despite the fact her pussy smells? Yeah, include the pH levels too, so that can be a national news story. How about that, Penny?"
At this point, Penny began crying and yelled, "Well, I'm sorry for complimenting you. I'll never do anything nice for you ever again." To which Jake replied, "Yeah, next time you want to help, just don't, okay? I'm leaving." To which Penny screamed, "Fine, go, you small dick loser."
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The boys. Cast.
Fellas, the boys are back.
We're back.
In the business, and there's been a big revelation that happened. I don't know if you're paying attention while you're on your vacation, but the Diesel's Milan fashion show just happened.
Oh, I'm a big fashion guy.
You actually-
That's what everybody knows about me.
Well, they're going to be knowing about it more because Buttcracks were the biggest NSFW accessory. So they've gotten to the full point where it's at the plumber's butt
Hey,
crack.
pal, they never left for me. That's how fashion forward I've been.
That's what I'm saying. You're the guy that had the skinny jeans from the last
Yeah.
time, where it's one.
It just loops back. That's the thing with fashion, is you don't have to be fashionable, because eventually fashion comes back to you.
No matter what you do.
No matter what you do.
Oh, they're at that point where just a guy where it's like, what's the fashion thing? The guy has a spoon on his nose.
Yeah,
like
literally. You go, yeah, you look homeless. I go, great.
It's just on Uncle Trends where it's just a bunch of guys walking down the thing pretending they're dislocating their thumb.
You can literally just walk around with a ghillie suit and just eventually people will be like, yeah, we're wearing ghillie suits.
Well, that's the other one. They had a guy and he was just, all the guys and girls just were covered in tape. They just duct taped around this. Just covered in duct tape. It's funny. It's funny watching what they're up to now, because I feel like they had their thing for a little bit where they're like, how about fat models? They knew what to do.
Yeah.
Whereas now they're sort of just like, I guess we're back to weird, which we don't even know what that means.
I mean, there's not many permutations. Like, if you think about suits, it's like, we basically decided 100 years ago, they're like,
That's what you do.
This is what a suit is. And they go,
I know.
We made like some tiny alterations, but we're like, that's it.
I know.
It's settled science.
And every person there's on the Kanye thing where they're like, glasses, but only the one of the things have a glass in it. One contact lens.
Yeah, one dark one.
Yeah, they want it. You know what they really need to start doing is just like a guy walks on his hands down the runway. I think that's where they're at.
I guarantee you they've done that, probably with a dog collar on of some sort. It's been done. Ryan's trying to come up with new stuff. It's all been done.
I just love you know what they are sort of one step away from, because they're doing the plumber's butt crack, right?
Yeah.
They are a bit one step away from just being like, it's the new fashion trend is just like, like baggy jeans, white New Balances, and like a MAGA shirt.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
NASCAR shirt and like a fanny pack.
Well, think about how popular.
Dead serious.
Think how popular NASCAR shirts became.
I guess so,
right? Like they would. That's like trendy.
Yeah, but so I think like your average like Midwestern dad who like works at a plant.
Yeah.
That's where they're at. Like a ring of keys off the thing.
Normcore.
Yeah, I think Normcore has to probably hit the runway pretty soon.
Well, I mean, it was popular I think a decade ago, so probably needs another decade.
Did you ever see the band that's all the Ned Flanders guys?
No.
There's a metal band. Can't remember what it's called. Johnny, you must know this. I can't believe. Well, anyways, it's a band, and they're all dressed like Ned Flanders, and they're a metal band, and they're pretty funny.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Oakley Dokley. That's pretty sick.
Solid.
Also, before I get into too hard, I'm going on the road and I'm going to be in California this weekend, and I just announced a whole bunch of dates. So the shows have been fucking awesome. If anyone wants to come out, Los Angeles, we just announced another show. Irvine's going to be 4 shows. San Jose, which is like the best venue in like the country. Then we have Tampa, Salt Lake City, Denver announced another one. Atlanta, Calgary, finally, where I did my special last week, and we're coming back there, or last year, we're coming back there. Castle, San Diego, Tulsa, Appleton, Columbus, Cincinnati, Cincinnati Cleveland run is back on the books, and Baltimore. So
Yeah,
please.
yay. And I'm going to be next month in Vancouver and then Edmonton.
Oh yes, Edmonton's sick, dude. I bet you the boys will come out to the Edmonton show.
They better. They fucking better.
I had a pretty good one. RyanLongComedy.com.
DannyComedy.com.
I had a pretty good one. It's like 2 days ago in my building. Probably one of the like, you know how every comedian has jokes where it's like, you know, I was sending a text message and I actually sent a sex to my dad, and it's a pretty like overdone topic. I was literally, because TikTok and Twitter and all these places have gotten so wild, and it's not stuff that you follow, it's just stuff that comes up in your algorithm.
I literally
right?
can't, dude. I can't go on Twitter on like a plane.
This is where I'm going with this.
It's like either like Nazi shit or hardcore pornography, or like the best case scenario is you go, show me a guy getting beheaded. This will be the easiest thing to explain to the person next to me on the plane.
I turned in. I was the guy. Well, I told you I was giving the guy shit because he was on the elevator the whole time with the phone. I did it by accident because I thought I had my headphones in. I thought the headphones were cooked in, but they were not. So my headphones weren't connected, and I pulled the thing out on the elevator, and it just goes, "America was a country founded by white people." And I was just there's just one woman that was there. She's probably
no, like I don't like this.
Dude, I swear, I was like my body just like a rush of like red just went over me.
Yeah, you're like, hey, no, this post is critical of that.
No, you just have to do this. You go, what? And you throw your phone at the wall.
You go, sick, right? just save it. You go, sick stuff, right?
It's disgusting what's on there.
Yeah.
And you know what the craziest part was? So when because I just like literally turned it off and I opened it, it wasn't even that. It was someone reacting to this.
Right.
It was a clip where someone said that, and then someone else is reacting to it.
Oh, so she didn't hear that part.
That's just it. Yeah, you go.
Well, if the reaction was, yeah, that's goddamn right it is.
I can't remember. But it's not as, it is crazy now that you pull up your phone and you're just like, the gas chambers have the doors locked on the inside.
Yeah, the door's open from the inside. Please explain that. You go, it's just Twitter these days, I guess.
Yeah, because it's the algorithm. You used to have to, when I grew up, you used to have to go to someone's page, you'd lock your door.
Yeah, you lock your door.
You'd lock your door, sit on your bed, then you turn the volume down really low, and then you could watch.
Then you put your headphones in.
Then you put your headphones in, you confirm that they're working, and then you get a guy saying, women shouldn't vote.
Yeah, right. Looking around. Nobody heard that.
Whereas now, internet stuff in real life does not connect.
No.
Anyways, it happened to me in real life, man. I got hit by it. I was fucking feeling it.
I know. I mean, hopefully that woman was a Twitter user and she just goes, yeah.
Oh, that'd be hilarious if the woman looks at me and she goes, just gives me a preach, brother.
That would be amazing.
Finally, someone
found an ally in the elevator.
It's about time someone fucking said it. So, we are going to go through this article like a second that we talked about in the intro because it's just so mind-blowing. And we didn't go through the details, but you get the gist of it, where a woman wrote this article. My man has a 2.8-inch micropenis, and his army mates compare it to dental floss. But here's how our sex life really is. And the whole thing was how great it was.
Yeah. Why?
Well, like,
what does he get out of this? I'd love
this
to
guy's
know.
in the army. First of all, his guy's in the army, and she keeps going on about how like he's getting made fun of by one of his friends, and like, how do you know that even?
Sure. Well, I'm sure he's like, yeah, probably the mates are, when they're all hanging out, they're ribbing on him in front of her.
In front of her? That would be insane. You imagine
she goes, I'll show them. I'll get an article in the Daily Mail about how sick this micropenis is.
Can you imagine your boys from work come over and then they're talking about how small your dick is in front of your fucking girlfriend? Like, what?
Oh, they're just like, right? You gotta fucking use this
Who
thing
would
all
say
the
that?
time. Nah, well, maybe this is army culture. I don't know.
If so, you're not coming to my house ever
Hell
again.
no. Yeah, we're not friends. Again, it's like if that's what it is, like we're just work associates.
Yeah, honest to God. And she goes, I've been with Jake for nearly a year or two. I have absolutely no complaints in the bedroom department. Far from it. The whole thing definitely is the
Yeah, she's very much like, see? It's not so bad. She goes, please.
If you're
I'm begging you not to do
exactly. If your girlfriend comes out and she goes, my man is really good at sex, and you said he's bad. Far from it. You'd be like, stop it,
Please.
I actually like a micro.
I'm asking you nicely.
I'm begging you, please stop helping. I know.
I mean, honestly, though, there's a part of me where it goes like, there was an element where, the reporter and then the reporter's with a photographer and they go, can we get a photo of you for the thing? I'd just be like, no.
Not a chance.
Zero chance.
He goes, we'll find one on the internet. You go, no.
There's a couple in your military uniform. Is that cool to use? You go,
And this is, I'd rather have, this is on the par of like, you're just like, someone's bullying me at work, and then your girlfriend's like, I'll go talk to him.
this is literally like a supervillain origin story. This is like how you become a supervillain as they go, they made me do the article.
Yeah.
Now then you literally go in a lab and like you invent like some like gas that makes everyone's dick a micropenis. Like that's how this starts. Everyone has a micropenis. It started from this guy being forced to be in this article.
Micro man.
It's actually regular man now.
The superhero, the supervillain, regular man.
With a scheme so diabolical, makes every man's penis a micropenis and every woman's vagina extra wide.
That is the most diabolical scheme of all time. You turn every guy's dick micro and you turn every girl's vag macro with just the fucking most disgusting gas of all time. And the gas happens on all condoms.
Yeah.
That's what he puts
Yeah.
in. It's all the condom lubricant is actually dick shrinking serum.
This is like fucking it's Joker shit. That's like literally you're making a Joker right now.
Well, yeah, but she goes, far from it. She goes, but the best is every time she talks about it, it's like 100% making it worse. She goes, for me, it isn't about the penetration and climax of sex, but the foreplay and everything that leads up to that. So basically your first argument is, yeah, I love his dick. It's so great, we don't even use it.
We use a Hitachi wand instead.
That's how good he is. That's not a great way to defend the dick by being like, it's so great that he only fingers me.
Yeah, she's definitely trying to get him to read the article. He's like, I don't
know. Look at I said the part where you have the best fingers in the West. I was like, I don't want to read it.
I'm going down to my lair. Do not disturb me.
I'll be in the tunnels.
Oh my god, nightmare scenario.
That's 100% a supervillain origin story. 18 months ago, I underwent a hysterectomy due to and I felt very sore and delicate down there for a long time. I was told by doctors that sex would be painful. So actually, Jake's small penis was perfect because it didn't cause me any pain. Stop it. I have a medical condition where fucking penises hurt me.
Where an average penis will hurt me.
Whereas this one fucking is fine because it barely feels like it's in there. Stop it.
Way to find the silver lining, I guess. But
yes, and sure. If you know what, the guy with the micro, he's doing fine. He's like, I found a girl that actually, if she has more than 4 inches, it physically hurts her.
Yeah.
He cracked the
Yeah,
code.
he cracked the code.
The world does not need to know this. He could be with this girl for the rest of his life. He's like, yeah, she's happy because anything bigger hurts her. And it's like, no one even really knows that I got a micro except for maybe 1 or 2 people. So it's like, I'm just living a normal.
yeah, the guy's showering with his trunks on for sure.
Yeah. This guy's living like a completely normal life. And she's out there being like, they need to know.
They need to know. There's a new thing that we need to raise awareness about. There's not many left. Micropenis Awareness Month.
If you and she's out with the army buddies being like, oh yeah, oh you think he's a dick, small dick? Well, guess what? I can't even have one that's over 3 inches, so it's perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Fucking
How you like
crazy,
that?
man? His mates ask me, oh, and this goes, people always ask me if Jake's penis is the smallest I've ever had. And to be honest, I try to blank it out with all my previous sexual partners.
Answer the question.
Who's asking that? The only people that are asking that are people you've told about this.
Yeah, literally, like your girlfriends or whatever. He goes, have you ever seen a smaller penis than that?
I mean, obviously, people ask your wife that here and there.
It's a topic of conversation.
That's the craziest thing. People always ask me, is it the smallest I've had? No, they don't.
No.
Who's asking you that? Oh, my parents, my friends. The only people that would ever ask you that is people that you told that.
Yeah, other girls, like when you're
That you've mentioned that it's tiny.
Yeah, you go, it's so tiny, but it's perfect.
People off the street, you would be surprised.
You would be surprised. Yeah, people just want to know.
And then she goes, his mates always ask, how do you put up with his small willy? Again, that's not a mate.
Yeah.
Imagine I corner your fucking wife at a party and I'm like, you mind talking for a second? Like,
are you all right?
Yeah, are you? How do you deal with that? Fucking,
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Like, are you getting some dick on the side or what's?
Yeah, how does that work? Because obviously that's not going to satisfy
No, are
you.
you,
You'd be like,
are you suicidal or
the fuck?
insane?
That's like you.
Is she trying to be a blogger? Is that what it is? Is this like her foray into? Is this her big break in blogging?
Yeah.
Nightmare.
That would literally be like punch in the face immediately.
Oh my god! I mean, let's break up because you're just like, look.
I was meaning for the guy saying that, but yeah, girl might get one too at this point.
Oh, that's what I was saying. I guess we're not on the same page right now, but yeah, I mean, like again, there's no. You have what? Are you going to write an article once a month for Mamma Mia for $25?
I'll give you $25.
I'll double your rate. $50.
Double it.
No blog.
Whatever this is from the Sun. So this is a pretty big organization.
But that's what I'm saying.
You go, would you get $200? You go, whatever
No, you
it
don't
is,
get
I'll pay you.
anything. This is like you get them to write the piece to promote the blogging. There's no money in this.
Whatever they're paying you, I'll triple it. I promise you that.
She's not the author of this. There's a real journalist who actually did this journalism.
Listen, I'll tell you. And this is, I'm going to tread lightly on what I'm about to say.
Don't.
But I watched the Gabby Petito documentary.
Oh yeah.
And we were talking
Team
about
Laundry.
I would not.
Had it coming?
No, I'm not Team Laundry because there's no amount of stuff that you should be killing a woman.
No.
Right? So I'm not.
None?
I'm not Team Laundry.
Okay.
But they did paint a bit of a picture. And I was like, I don't know if they're trying to,
Yeah.
So it starts out, first of all, it is pretty like wild documentary because we were following, the thing pretty, I mean, it was making videos about
Yeah.
it. If anyone doesn't remember, basically, this couple went and then he killed her and then, he came out and said he didn't kill her and it became the national news story. We talked a lot about
it's
it. We were
literally how I
picking
became
outside their house.
It's how I became a low value male. Was from my tweet about Gabby Petito.
Is that true?
That's how the female dating strategy found
What was your
me.
tweet?
My tweet was like, remember she got like 2 million Instagram followers after she died or whatever. Like she died and then it became such a news story.
Her blog finally took off.
Yeah, like her Instagram went from 5,000 followers to 2 million followers or whatever after she died.
Yeah.
And then I just posted some tweet being like, this should be a good thing for influencers, just essentially I don't remember the word, but essentially go die, go get murdered, then that's how you'll get success. And then they were like, you're making fun of this, he's a low value man. Yeah.
See, that's why I was treading my words lightly. I knew it was but I want to be precise in my analysis here, right? Because it feels like obviously it's a funny take to just be like, I'm on the guy's side.
Did it turn out that she did a blog about his micropenis? Is that possible?
So he didn't seem to want to be a travel vlogger.
Oh, you don't say, Ryan.
In the footage.
Don't say.
In the footage.
He just wanted to live his life and not document every 4 seconds of it? Wow. Sorry, I just got back from a honeymoon where I had to take about 5,000 pictures, so I'm kind of on Team Laundry right now.
Not of you in them either.
No, most of them I'm not in them.
Danny's up there standing on the top of a rock to try to get the right
little
angle.
flashbulb thing,
And we ran into Steve Carell, he mentioned as well.
Yeah, I saw Steve Carell at the resort.
Look at high rollers, Danny and Steve.
Yeah, he was staying at the nice one. We were just eating dinner there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, can't afford that one.
How much is that one?
The Steve Carell one, $2,500 a night.
Woo!
Yeah,
that'll get you.
I mean, he's got that office money, man.
Carell's doing okay. Yeah,
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing all right.
Well, so the guy, basically, I'll say the bad things about the guy's clearly just your classic 23-year-old, he's dating a party chick sort of to some degree, and he's just the most insecure. He actually reminded me of people I knew.
Sure.
That were kind of you could tell the stuff where it's just oh, you're hanging out again? What about me?
Yeah.
He seems this guy seems like an annoying bitch,
Sure.
But removing all that, they do show a lot of the footage where it's them sitting, and every time she shows, she's the travel blog. One funny thing is every time they cut to Brian's face, it goes. It's legitimately no matter what they're doing when they cut to Brian Landry, it goes. And it does. You do watch it, and you're like, "This guy's a bad guy," and you're like, "He's just sitting there, right?"
The guy who's fucking scoring that. It's just the one key on the fucking synth. Cut to him.
They do go over and over. It does feel like, but it does trick you, right? You're just like, you're watching it and he's just like, this guy could just be like eating
It does
dinner.
trick you into thinking he's the bad guy. I get it.
I mean, music does work. You're watching it and you're like, this guy's eating, you know, he's just like having a bite of a fucking popsicle and you're like, what the fuck's this guy up to?
Hey, honey, can you grab me some strawberries?
But the things that happened, there was the first one. They were editing in the van, and he was like, "Oh, I thought we were gonna do something else tonight." And she was like, "Well, I have to finish the blog." And she goes, and then he was like, "Oh, okay, I guess we can cancel."
And he's like in the desert. Like it's
In
not
the
like he can
desert?
like go hang out with the buds.
And then she looks at him, and she.
I love how that's also the content she got. She's filming herself editing. What a nightmare.
She only released one travel vlog in the whole thing.
Really?
See, the moral.
She was getting around to it. Yeah, the travel vlog's coming out in fucking April 2020.
The moral of the story is if your girl wants to start a travel blog or your boyfriend, don't do it because it doesn't end good.
No.
This is a cautionary tale, but at one point she
No,
looks
that's
at
a
him.
solo move.
At one point she looks at him and she was like, well, things would be a little easier if you would edit as well.
Oh.
He didn't want to be in the vlog in the first place. Now, yes, she's mad at him because he's not editing enough. At this point, they have 0 blogs released.
Oh my god.
So they get a drone. They're probably like $3,000. They're poor, and they're probably like $3,000 deep into travel blog gear, right? She's got a drone, like cameras. They got editing software. So she's probably $3-4 deep when they're pretty
that
poor.
monthly premiere.
Well, he was working part-time at like an auto shop, and she was working at Taco Bell, and they fucking blew. And then they were going to go on the van, and then they blew their full load on this travel blogging thing, thinking it was going to be the ticket.
Those vans ain't cheap either, man.
The vans aren't cheap either. So these people were not doing good. And then you could see the thing where it's like, this is a cautionary tale of don't try to be a travel vlogger. And then at one point they were yelling at each other. They're getting in fights. And the guy is a piece of shit, but then she yells at him and she was like, you know, I'd make more money as a solo girl travel vlogger.
Ooh.
She basically said,
It's true.
it might have put him over the edge, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it is true. Seriously, like, I actually, like, because, you know, I like to travel, and, like, the idea of being a solo travel vlogger actually seems all right, but it's got to be a solo thing.
some of them make some money, yeah.
Oh, for sure. But you're like, it's cool if it's solo, but, like, the group ones, that's a nightmare.
Well, especially, like,
'Cause then you're managing the
22-year-old
women's image. and all that.
22-year-old cute chick. It's like, and the whole time she's thinking like, if I just took this van, left you in the desert, and showed a bit more tit, I will make 10 times the amount of money.
Yeah. Oh, easily. Oh, my God. It's like he literally was holding her back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, you know, there's a bunch of people fucking jacking off to this video, and then they cut to, and he's like, I can't fucking.
He goes, I'm the boyfriend. He goes,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not interested.
Yeah, so it's bad. It's bad news starting. It is really the cautionary tale of do not start a travel vlog.
No.
Then at one point she's like, she calls her ex-boyfriend, and so I think what happened is she's talking to her ex-boyfriend. She tells him like, I'm gonna be a better vlogger without you or whatever, and then they go out into the middle of the desert, and that didn't end well.
It did not end well. So
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of. Then she's got like some young surfer friends, and he's really mad about that.
yeah, he doesn't like it.
Oh yeah, she's got the friend that's just like.
Sounds like he just wasn't cut out for that life.
No, certain guys like this can't handle girls like that. You know,
No.
it was a bad match between the two of them. But this guy's a psychopath.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure. Who has pushed past his limits?
Yeah, I did not watch this, and my thing was, I don't want to. That's why I'm being not mincing
Yeah.
words here, because I didn't want to come out of this being like he was wrong. This guy, I came out from that being like, I hate that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not
actually
but
defending him.
also fucking like the travel blog influencer girlfriend can push you to extremes.
Like, look, here's the only scenario that probably really works, like where you can actually make money, and it's probably similar to like an OnlyFans thing, is you're the cameraman. You're
Right.
behind the camera.
You're the cameraman,
and like you're
basically.
doing the production and the editing.
and taking half the money.
taking half the money. Yeah, but you're like, we're splitting the money, but you're like, you're behind
You're
the
in
camera.
charge of this production.
Exactly.
Being the she's in charge of the production, and you're at her beck and call of
Oh.
whim. It's like I bet you
You're driving.
90% of influencer probably relationships behind the camera are literally just like, okay, you're not smiling.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then just fucking the guy just like goes and punches them through the window of his van.
Oh yeah. Nightmare
And,
scenario.
yeah, they do all those kind of like hippie yoga van influencers always do have like a bit of a, like a violent streak. Kai the Hitchhiker, perfect example.
Right? I mean, van life is specifically van life. Just like the concept of van life, that's a solo thing. You're like a nomad. It's like maybe have a dog at best. A guy with a dog, that's fine.
Yeah, but they're trying to. You're right. They're trying to normalize it. It's like they're trying to turn it into like it's actually pretty normal. to be a
it's not some
van liver.
alternative lifestyle. You're like, this is just a thing you do. Live in a van. And you go,
Well, basically, they don't have jobs anymore, and they're just like, what if we could make a bit of money from our YouTube channel? Like that'll solve our problems. I think is what a lot of them think. And then, but they don't realize how many problems it.
bang, you both wind up dead.
Well, it's even worse than solves their problems because they went to like, hey, you know what? We're gonna live off the grid and just be like, let's be like hippies off the grid, and instead, and also we're running out of money doing that, right? And then you go from we're running out of money, but what we really want to do is explore and hike, and then you get to now we have no money, and you're living more on the grid than ever,
right?
Because you're spending 90% of your day like uploading videos and
looking at the algorithm.
You're basically like you're the most on the grid you've ever been in your life.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Rip Gabby.
R.I.P. dude.
R.I.P.
Also, the last comment on that is every guy in the thing looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, her dad, her stepdad, him. Every single guy is like bald, and they look exactly the same. It's hard to tell them apart.
Oh, interesting. I'll watch
Also, there's some pretty good ones about like because, and this is that I don't put this in that category, but there's a lot of documentaries right now because 2016 to 18 girl boss era, like they could get away with anything.
Yeah.
So there was so many women that were like running a scam.
Oh yeah.
That like came home to roost in the meantime. Whereas like they had a good like 3 years where like there's this one girl and she has a fucking, I can't remember what the big documentary is, but her name's Belle Gibson, which sounds like a made up name. Oh, doesn't that feel like what's your name?
Belle Gibson.
Nicolas Cage. Belle Gibson really sounds like a made up name with a guy who was on the spot and couldn't come up with something.
What would she do?
What's your name? Bomb Cruise.
That's it. That's the ticket.
That's the ticket. So basically,
what did Belle Gibson do?
Belle Gibson was the most famous like cooking blogger in Australia, right? And her whole scam was she said that she had cancer, and then she cured her cancer with her recipes. And basically, she didn't say she had one cancer.
Oh, I think I remember hearing about.
She said she had brain cancer. She said she had knee cancer, like pancreas cancer. She had brain cancer.
Knee cancer.
I'm just saying. She said she had every cancer known to man.
Okay.
And as he made up, and she was like, the doctors were like, it doesn't even make sense. It'd be the equivalent of being like, I have testicle cancer in my brain.
Right.
Like she was like, I have brain cancer in my fucking, it's spread to my feet, and all the doctors were like, doesn't even make, but like they were also doctors are pussies, right? So they were all petrified to like call out this girl boss. She's doing a fucking launch with Apple. Oof. Like she's really the girl boss.
Right.
The thing that took her down was she had one friend that she wronged from the bar scene, and the friend was like this like Australian Valley girl that was probably jealous of her success, and the friend was on a campaign like you fucked with the wrong person.
Right, and she was just like she didn't have cancer. She's just a pathological liar.
She didn't have cancer, and she made up the doctor, and she basically said they were like, where's the doctor? And they're like, the doctor came to my house and diagnosed me with cancer, and then he disappeared. That's what she went with. And then she did like a 2020 style interview, and they were just like, so is anything you say, like, how old are you even? And she goes, well, I've always believed myself and was raised to know that I'm 26. And she goes, so are you 26? And she's basically like,
she talks like that.
She lies about, she does every single thing with this woman, but it's like the girl who was the
Elizabeth Holmes.
Elizabeth Holmes.
Well, that was like a scam. Like the thing is, I don't think
this is a scam.
No, I know that, but my question for this chick is because like Elizabeth Holmes, I don't think was a pathological liar. She was like, kind of like a girl boss scammer.
Started with the scam,
and then got kind of like
little scrutiny,
and then kind of got like stuck in this scam in the sense that she's like, I have to lie, and if we just, it's almost like the SBF thing where you're like I don't think SBF started as a scammer. He just at some point switched over, and then he's like, I can save this, like I can turn this around by doing more crimes, but if I like, don't get detected, like I listened to him on Tucker Carlson.
That's crazy.
Crazy that he was on Tucker Carlson.
Did he get reprimanded for doing
Apparently,
the
yeah, he did, because he was like criticizing the jail, even though they let him do a fucking
I actually didn't
podcast.
listen to that.
It's okay. There's like a bunch of, basically, he's just like,
Did you watch that? Was your blood boiling? Do you still hate him? Do you still have hatred for him like that?
Do I still have hatred? I mean, I don't like the guy. Not a fan. Wanted to see how things were going in prison. He says it's pretty boring. He's got 23 more years left.
He's hanging with P. Diddy, though. That's
He
all
is.
right.
He literally is.
That's wild.
That's the one thing he said where he's like, man, if you told me 3 years ago that I was like, yeah, you'd be hanging with P. Diddy every day, I'd be like, this is a crypto-related thing?
Yeah. But it's also not that crazy where he was at that he could have been like in the Diddy circles. Like,
Yeah, for
I'm
sure. I mean, he was hanging out with Tom Brady.
Yeah,
and-
so it's not that crazy. He was pretty like celebrity.
I think he's just
adjacent.
saying he didn't think it was going to be in the confines of a prison.
Yeah,
of a
duh.
federal prison.
Hot take from SBF.
Yeah.
And like didn't think I'd be in jail.
Neither did Diddy.
Must have knew there was a possibility.
Yeah, neither did Diddy. But
So that's what this girl's did. But I think the point that I'm trying to make is like, yeah, in that specific
Yeah.
girl boss era where they were like shooting up, they all were getting like armies.
Right.
And it was,
What was
you know,
the food she was
like if you were
making?
like, there would be like a journalist that would come out and be like, yo, none of this makes sense. And within an hour, 10,000 people would be like, you want to fucking
right, yeah. They're like calling for that journalist to be fired, essentially. Like,
You know what I have that with? The fucking Will Smith stuff. I remember I did the
Yeah,
Will
yeah.
Smith video, and I just did another one recently. Finally, I did a video
Yeah,
about
the
the rap
lyrics.
lyric. It was a long time coming, and I had to get it off the plate. Had that. I've been talking about that rap lyric for years. I had to do the video about first in and last one at the club, bursting in, passing out at the club. So I just did a little music historian thing, but. It did okay on Twitter and a couple other places, and then the Will Smith trolls were coming at me.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know.
Sounds like
if-
you're the troll.
Well,
Sounds
I
like
guess
you're the Will Smith
Maybe
troll,
I'm
right?
the Will Smith troll. Well, I have a love-hate
the
relationship
defenders.
with the guy. Maybe I'm scorned.
Yeah.
But I don't realize the extent to which there's always still people that are like, you talk shit about Will Smith. It just feels like random.
Right, yeah. You're like, why do you care so much about Will Smith?
Have you just heard his new song that he has?
No, why would I have heard?
Well, it's everywhere.
Is it?
Yeah, and it was a big story because he did like a performance and he was like kissing the girl and he's like 60 and it's just weird.
okay.
But the song is maybe the worst song you've ever heard. He goes, I want that first kiss. I want the first love. I want that first touch. I want that first smile. And it just it's I literally burst out when I heard it. I go, this is fuck. What are you doing, Will Smith?
I mean, the thing with Will Smith is he has access to, like, you can get, like, you know, the top songwriters, like, to just.
He has bad taste.
just
You can't
make
replace
a song.
bad taste.
I guess, yeah. Like, here's your
They
song.
probably sent him 40 songs and he was like, that first taste one is the fucking that's the ticket.
That's the one.
Yeah. So anyways, I think that was happening when any of these girls would like skyrocket to the top and then everyone was so petrified of them,
Right.
you know?
And what food did she make that cured cancer? Like, was she just making normal shit?
Kind of, yeah.
Like, she was like kale Caesar salad? You're like, that cures cancer?
She said
Like 3 cheese macaroni and cheese.
she said she cured 3 types of terminal cancer with her fucking mashed potato recipe. And then after that, she still never like admitted to anything. And then after like 3 years, they showed her and she had a hijab on and she had a news
Ah,
scam.
nice. On to the new scam.
Anyways, Belle Gibson did make me
Belle
laugh,
Gibson.
but yeah, the influencer couple is not what you want. I'll tell you that much.
No, absolutely not. Avoid it like the plague.
Boys, I got to tell you about a new sponsor, and that is Ridge Wallet. You heard of them? You love it? This is the wallet of the future. Me and Danny are both rocking Ridges right now.
Yeah, after my 10-year hiatus from having a wallet.
That is true. That's actually a pretty good endorsement that it
Yeah.
made you come back to having wallets.
Come back to wallet life.
Yeah, and I had a Ridge wallet because before actually we did the sponsorship. So I've been on Ridge, so I'm an
Yeah.
OG actually Ridge.
I was a crazy no wallet person for a decade.
It's
Just
insane,
Stuff
yeah.
just rattling around my pockets.
And now you've actually walked into the big leagues as a man with a Ridge.
back to the normal life.
And it's minimalist, it's slim, durable materials. This puppy's not going to weigh you down. This is slim. This is the future. You feel futuristic with a Ridge wallet. Lifetime
This
warranty.
is probably what a leather wallet was like 200 years ago.
Yeah, kind of, right?
Yeah, they go, we've, and then there was just leather wallets for 200 years, and then they go, well, you can't improve the wallet.
They're also, they're like, you just put the cash on the outside and you have your cards in there. Like, what is it? You don't need the hard candies, George Costanza. It's literally the opposite of the George Costanza.
Wallet. Yeah, it's the Jack Bauer wallet.
Yeah. So it comes with a variety of colors, a variety of finishes. This is a great gift idea probably one of the best gift ideas I can think of for someone, because wallets are good, but you don't want to, if you give someone a wallet, they're like, yeah, I have a wallet. You're like, no, there's a better one.
Yeah, and they have one that you can put an air tag in,
yeah,
which is huge for the wallet losing community that it's a big part of.
You know what else it has also is that it has something that blocks off the cards.
Oh, yeah, the NFC. So yeah.
So this is a good wallet.
Tech. This is high tech.
It's high tech. The Ridge AirTag is what Danny's been talking about. Ridge AirTag attachment. You'll always know exactly where it is before panic sets in.
Yeah.
So
and that's a good system. You get within like 10 feet away from it. You get a text on your phone being like, did you lose your wallet?
Banger function.
Oh, huge.
No matter what you pick, Ridge has free shipping, 99-day risk-free trial, lifetime warranty on all products, all bunch of different colors and styles. Right now, Ridge is having their once-a-year anniversary sale. You get up to 40% off at ridge.com/boyscast. Ridge.com/boyscast to see the biggest sale of the year. 40% after you purchase. They will ask you where you heard about it. So please support the show and tell them the BOYSCAST sent you at ridge.com/boyscast. Boys, life moves fast. Sometimes you just need a way to relax, recharge, stay focused without making things more complicated than they already are. You ever try meditating, but then you get stressed about how bad you are at meditating, or your just mind wanders way too much? That's why I love VIIA. They actually make you feel good and easy. 500,000 customers can't be wrong. So VIIA is changing the game in natural wellness, combining high quality hemp-derived ingredients with powerful cannabinoids to create real effects-driven results. More focus, a little boost in the bedroom. Maybe need to chill out because your stress levels are currently at screaming into the void status. Whatever you need, VIIA's got a solution for you. Here's the best part. VIIA lets you customize your experience, whether you're looking at daily wellness, laser focus, or deep relaxation. VIIA has it with products ranging from 0 to high cannabinoid levels. You've got options for everyone. We're talking about award-winning effect-forward gummies, premium indoor-grown THCA flower, calming drops, all made with organic lab-tested hemp from trusted independent American farms. None of that mystery gas station nonsense, and you don't have to jump through hoops or get some weird doctor's note. VIIA legally ships discreetly nationwide. And no medical card required. You know, this is the future you're living in right now. No sketchy parking lot meetups, just straight to your door with worry-free guaranteed. If you're not sure where to start, no worries. VIIA has a product finder quiz. You just type in what your information is. It'll hook you up with the perfect match in less than 60 seconds. So this is probably the move for you. So if you're over 21 plus, treat yourself to 15% off. Get a free gift with your first order as well when you use our exclusive code BOYSCAST at viiahemp.com. Plus, enjoy free shipping on orders over $100. That is VIIAHEMP.com. After they purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show. Tell them the BOYSCAST sent you with the promo code BOYSCAST. Enhance your everyday with VIIA. Okay, this is really funny because they released this this tracker ring that couples have to wear if you want to be the most cucked man in the world. You saw this is the most. This is. I'll just read the headline here. Dystopian loyalty tracker smart ring could help you catch your partner cheating. When something's up, you'll know. And how it works is designed to be bought in pairs. The creepy accountability contraception will sync between partners so people in the relationship can know when others' emotional state is different with colored LED lights. It's like a digital mood ring, but connected to someone else's emotions. But yeah, so this is where they're trying to use the future for, but also it does.
Who invented this? Obviously, it's going to be, it's going to be some guy.
Yeah, some
Why?
pussy, yeah.
Why? You couldn't fucking figure out some crypto scam? You got to screw every guy over?
Yeah, you got to fuck us over?
Yeah, because the thing, too, is it's like it needs to be charged once a week for half an hour. But then, like when you like go to Chargers as the guy and the girl's like, why aren't you wearing your ring?
Yeah.
What's going on? Are you cheating on me? And you go, no, it's in the other room. It has to charge. She goes, where the fuck have you been? He goes, I'm just in the other room charging my ring, honey.
And it goes off on your... Also, well, think about the beginning part. On the other side, you're forgetting about the one way. It says it goes... It tracks their emotional state.
Yeah, so mad all the time.
Well, or just all over. Like your hands just... every guy.
Yeah, it's like a disco ball. It's just like...
Every...
Not for men with epilepsy. Be every color all the time.
Every guy's hands just steaming for once a week, every month. Your hands just like you can't. It's slapping you. He's just going absolutely bonkers.
Oh my god!
What's that movie where the guy's hand like he can't control his own hand?
Oh, the comedy movie?
Yeah, I feel like
it was like a teen comedy.
I feel like there's a comedy movie where the guy's hand has a mind of its own.
Yeah, I know. I think I know what you're talking about.
But anyways, yeah, yeah, your ring tracks her emotional state, and it's just going fucking bonkers.
Yeah,
and then I'm the other way around. It's you just being like, gonna take a quick shower. The minute you go in there, just her fingers going.
I was taking a tough shit, honey.
Yeah.
Real battle in there.
It's sexual.
It's a real battle in there.
Using artificial intelligence. This is not the future we need.
No. Nobody asked for this.
Nobody needs it. Nobody asked for this. Who would even be so cucked even to agree to this?
They're out there. I mean, that's the thing is there's so many like manipulative women who are just like, I got us these rings. And you're like, I don't want to wear the ring.
If you're,
like, oh, what are you trying to hide?
Yeah. If your ring comes off, it like notifies her. It's like, what kind of cocked world of this fucking loser? Yeah. What is this guy?
I was at the gym. She was like, I don't care. You work out with your ring on. You go, I don't like to.
The girl's name that wrote this is Adrian, but I don't know who made it.
It's a company called Raw. This is Chinese.
We should short this company is what we should do.
I don't think it's publicly.
Put a big short out on these guys. Imagine you got everyone from the BOYSCAST to run a short. Like we run a proper like shorts
like a short campaign on
a short campaign on this company.
I hate this shit.
That's crazy, man.
Raw and Queens Tech.
I have a feeling it's only, and it's going to start with the most like cuck dudes being like, well, you know, why would you have a problem with that?
Yeah.
If you shouldn't be jerking off. So if your girlfriend knows when you're jerking off, then that's your problem.
Resist this.
Maybe you shouldn't be such a pervert.
I hate this.
Just a friggin'.
This is one of the worst.
The team claims the ring will be able to identify other emotional states such as anxiety, sexual arousal. So anxiety, every dude's just fucking hands are gonna be going. Brr, 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 brr.
She has anxiety again.
Thin line centering the ring will turn pink or red if she's stressed or aroused. That's also funny. Is this saying it's aroused? Where she's she's like, your wife's ring's just going crazy, and then she was like, you know what? Enough of this. She walks in the bedroom. You're just eating a slice of pizza.
Oh, that sounds like now's the time. Yeah, she comes in like lingerie. You're just like eating fucking cereal in the
You're
corner.
so sexually aroused. Danny has 2 slices of pepper and cheese. Her rings. The arousal levels have never been so high. Just full on hot dog, Pepsi.
I don't need a ring to fucking track my wife's emotions. It's pretty clear what's going on.
Definitely.
Yeah, like I don't need a ring here. Maybe
That
she
is
needs
true.
one for mine because I'm just fucking poker face all the time.
But then, but you're poker body as well. So
Yeah,
the
exactly.
ring wouldn't be getting anything.
That's true. Yeah, you wouldn't be getting.
She would think it was broken.
Yeah, she would think. She goes, "Do you have emotions?"
Correct. I think this ring's
That is
broken.
correct. Yes. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Shit. I think this puppy's broken. It hasn't made a peep.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the only time.
Zen, baby.
That is so funny, though. The arousal's always going off when you're just eating a steak.
Goes, oh, this is so fucking.
When
good.
something's up, you'll know. Simple as that. Co-founder of Raw, Mariana Anderson.
Of course, a chick made this.
Some bullshit, man.
Yeah, I mean, no guy would ever think.
Nah,
of
you're not
this.
gonna catch
I mean,
me.
she obviously roped in some guy to do the technology, or like to actually make it, because you know, she's the brains behind the idea.
Or it's another scam that
I mean,
doesn't do
I was
shit.
actually gonna say that we might be talking about exactly
Another
like one of those-
Elizabeth fucking homo.
Yeah, this is another Elizabeth Holmes right here. We caught it in real time.
Oh yeah, it goes off when you're like, how do you know the difference between me, jacking off or?
I mean,
just
all it can sense is your
heart rate.
your heart rate and your temperature.
Yeah. Well, I guess you'd have to just get good at it. You jacking off like this.
Yeah,
You have to be
you
extremely
have to, like,
calm.
meditate and jack
Yeah.
off at the same time. You know?
Keep your heart rate steady.
Yeah. And then it starts like flaring up. You're like, no.
It really is every invention immediately. Like they start, I've talked about that before, but every invention it takes 5 seconds before they're like, how do we use this for porn and sex
Yeah,
and everything?
uh-huh.
But it's like, Yeah, they're already at that AI. They're like, what if we find out when people are jacking off and having sex? And then,
yeah, we can tailor ads to them specifically for in that moment of.
I didn't even think of that, man. It all connects together, and you're getting aroused, and the next thing you know is trying to sell you fucking OnlyFans content, and then it's one big web. You're really one big walking consumer right now.
I know.
That's how they see you.
Just a bunch of fucking data. That's
they see you as one big batch of like ones and zeros walking around, just waiting to fucking
ready to get picked off.
Smoke a few off. Well, this guy and the pervs are out here this week because this guy, I think it was in Los Angeles, California, which where I will be once again. If you're not going to be there this weekend, it will be a banger. Week-long orgasm retreats teach women how to climax for $15K. I feel empowered, alive, at ease. So the ultimate perv
$15K.
15.
But it's like a gross old chick who's running this. It's like a gross old empowered chick.
But there's dudes involved.
Oh yeah, there are.
And there's sort of gross old chicks that go to it too.
Yeah, good guys who are like, can I get you a hand?
Everything that starts out is like, you know what? What if I could pay to massage girls' breasts and then I'll just get paid to give breasts? You're like, lo and behold, the girls are busted.
Yeah, of course.
You just have when you're having girls pay $15K to you, like teach them orgasms, like, spoiler alert, they're beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ever see the black ones where it's the guys that give the massages to the girls?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's always like some skinny black guy
with
with
like a finger in her asshole. Like
the girl's like 600 pounds and he's just like fucking all over her body.
Yeah. Well,
$15K.
How much does a Hitachi wand cost? I feel like a lot less than $15,000.
Well, they're saying that, there's more to it. They need to be all calm, and they basically just sit in this room while a bunch of perverts come and they got gloves on and they like touch their body and finger them and shit
for $15K.
And then they pay $15K for this. That's why girls this is literally like, when you think of like a guy rub and tug, it's like just a sleazy location. Guy goes, pays fucking couple $100 or whatever, and he's in and out. Girls have like
they have to go to like the White Lotus.
This is the equivalent of This is if the girls out there that are willing to have a rub and tug, they have to convince themselves like, no, this is I'm educating myself.
Yeah. This is empowering and educating.
I'm empowering myself. I'm being in tune with my sexuality. I'm teaching myself something that if society would have taught me, I wouldn't have to do this.
If society could have taught me how to have an orgasm, I think you usually just figure it out.
Should have been first day of class.
I mean, you can't just figure it out.
They're broken. Yeah, bodies are broken.
I was like, just lock yourself in a room and
The one element I don't mind is putting the onus on them.
Sure.
Where
this is your fault.
Yeah, it's your fault that you couldn't finish.
Yeah, you didn't go to this $15,000. I mean, yes, I did finish in 3 minutes, but it's if you went to this $15,000 retreat.
Well, that would be even.
Yeah, we would have read at the same time.
It would be exactly at the same time, and it's not if you want to cheap out on your own orgasm. So
invest in yourself.
That's why I take all these money on supplements. What are you doing?
Nothing.
But yes, again, if anyone's girl was like, yeah, I'm doing $15K for the orgasm, like you have to be such like fucking weasel perverts. I actually have a video. I think I might release the clip, but I had these people that are at the Phoenix show. They were actually pretty fun. But there's these two guys. They're swingers, and they were like, yeah,
the two guys are swingers.
A guy and a girl, swingers in Phoenix. Guy and a girl were swingers, and then then it turns out they're not married, so they have a husband and wife, and they say their husband and wife fuck sometimes. And the four of them like. A lot of people move to these kind of like retirement-y areas, and just like just live like fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
They've got kids though. I think that's a better like if you want to be that type of fucking.
I told you I got kicked out.
Let your kids be 18 first.
I got kicked out of the hotel in Plano.
Your swingers convention,
for the swingers convention, and they were not attractive-looking people. Let me tell you. Woof.
Danny walked in with his robe. I'll take a rain check.
What's this guy? Oh God!
Just a fat guy slipping, sliding on them.
It was not far off from that. I mean, it was the point where the manager was like, "You have to change rooms." He's like, "You have to go to a different floor." Like right now, I'm so sorry.
I'm begging you. Here, come here. Look at me. I'm gonna give you another room. Don't look up. Don't look up.
He's like, he was so apologetic.
Look me in the eyes.
He's like, "I'm so sorry." He's like, "We put you on the same floor as the swingers convention tonight."
Listen, I'm gonna offer you the option for another room. I need you to say yes right now.
We have food and drink vouchers for you. Just take it. I'm telling you, take it.
Oh, nothing. What?
He's like, there's no going back if you go on that floor.
Yeah, his manager. Oh, we're just ringing him in here. I'm telling you.
Slides me like a note.
Ask. Yeah, he can't.
Yeah.
He can't legally
Yeah,
propose that you need a room change. Just to let you
say yes.
say you need a higher floor. I can't offer you legally, but for the love of God.
Gross.
Yeah, real perv conventions.
Real shit.
But you're right. There is these guys that figure that they cracked the case where they'll be like, I'll be a vagina instructor. I mean, this is a better scam than being the fucking, if you are like a perv that needs this kind of life, this is a better scam than being a gynecologist without a license doing them out of your garage finding girls on Craigslist.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, if you can, square that circle, I guess, and if you're like an older couple and you really want to just kind of stray and you're both fine with it, it probably does work. Because I think the
No, I'm talking about this. The swinging, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, they probably do. They're like, yeah, this is better.
No, do you know what the
my wife's not crazy jealous, but if you wind up with a crazy jealous wife and then who's like tricks you into swinging to spice things up, and you go, that's a disaster.
I think the cardinal component to making swinging work. Have you ever dated a girl where you're just like, I almost like hate this girl, I'm done with her completely?
Every one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're with a girl where you're like completely just like completely over it, I have zero feelings for her.
Yeah.
Like I would jealous of please. Like,
Sure.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Please.
And you're just like, for whatever reason, you're not going to break up because of the kids. Like, I think that's where it works, where you're just like, aren't you jealous someone fucked your wife? You're like, I hate her.
Yeah, he goes, anybody who takes her off of my hands for any period of time, that's a win.
And most of the time, what people are like, oh, the swingers, like the girls aren't hot. And you're just like, yeah, because the hot ones, guys aren't okay with everyone fucking them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's when your girl,
those are the unicorns.
It's when your girl's like, just really let herself go that you're just like, why don't we switch?
Yeah, let's switch.
All of a sudden all of a sudden switching scenes.
Yeah, why don't you fuck Bob and I'll fuck his wife? Sounds pretty good.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely happens.
It definitely happens. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it, though, is that like you're like all these people are fine with wife swaps. You're like, yeah, I wasn't before she put all stuff away. Yeah, now I seem to be warming up to the idea of fucking Bob's wife instead of my wife.
Good.
And you're like, and then Bob fucks my wife, and you're like, yeah, someone's gotta.
Any way to spread out the food costs? Works for me.
Like someone's got to hit it. Might as well be Bob.
I can only stomach it once a quarter. So if Bob wants to take one for the team, Bob can take one for the team.
Yeah, I can only stomach plugging my nose before I enter the bedroom with her. Before reaching around trying to find it. So yeah, I think that's what's a lot going on with the swingers.
Yeah. Disgusting lifestyle.
Definitely. Another exercise called the Art of Adoration instructed the women to dress in something that makes them feel the most beauty as they lay on the floor blindfolded.
Okay.
As the music plays, practitioners touch their thighs, play with their hair, graze their skin.
Who are these practitioners?
I'm telling you, there's a couple. There's one guy, they showed a picture of the one practitioner guy, and he's like,
he looks like the
65.
sun in your butthole, dude.
He's kind of in that territory.
He's like that super fucking woo-woo, like... Dude,
he's definitely in that territory. And then he thinks he's got a scam where his wife's like, hey, what's this business where you're just like going in and like you said you're touching women's vaginas, and you're like, yeah, I'm a doctor.
Yeah, I'm a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor.
I'm healing women.
This
this gig I have, the healing happens to be taking place.
Oh, would you say the same thing to a gynecologist?
Yeah.
Would you have an issue if I was a gynecologist
or a tarot reader?
Yeah, exactly. This is legitimate business.
Remember, you have your crystals? Yeah, I'm like the crystal.
Yeah,
I'm half man, half crystal at this point. I want every woman to have access to this kind of healing, but also we have to honor the labor and expertise that goes into providing it. Said,
that means tips. That means tips are welcome. Tips are appreciated.
Do you think?
Pass the bucket. I know these chicks are like on the floor, like, all right, bucket's going around.
Do you think after he finishes his healing session, the girl's lying naked on the floor, the guy stands up? All right, we're gonna pass the bucket around. His name is Philip. Do not be afraid to fill him up. Tips are welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Tips are welcome.
Gotta keep the lights. The girl's putting her clothes on.
Tips are not included, so please
pass the bucket around.
You know, and just tip based on the service you received. I saw some of you writhing in ecstasy.
He's just shaking in front of her. All right, I will also remind you, none of that noisy money here.
Paper ideally.
Paper ideally, none of that noisy money, ladies and gentlemen. Passing the bucket around after a session is fucking great. Oh, god damn it. Hey, let's talk Tesla stock markets and everything for 10 minutes here.
Sure.
Because the first part is just that the amount of damage that's been done to Tesla, and I know this has been sort of a topic off of camera as well too, but to what extent does Danny think the brand's damaged and going down? Or
I mean, there's no debate that they have damaged their brand. I mean, to the degree to which people are literally giving up their cars, I think is probably fairly minimal. I think because again, it's like the people who bought them are like, they care about climate, right? So they are in this weird spot because they're like, yeah,
bizarre.
We are like these like left-wing people who care about climate.
What did it drop? 50%?
It dropped 50% from the highs.
Okay.
It's up like 10% today.
Yeah,
though.
I saw because the Trump pump.
The Trump pump. I again, it's like, you know, in the short term, like again, just based on pure market chaos that's going on right now, if you just remove Elon Musk of ever being part of this component, it would have been down 30% probably. Like
just from all of the
Nvidia's
market
down
chaos.
30%.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it probably would have been in that ballpark regardless.
Yes.
Of any of this. So you're like, maybe tack on. Yeah, there are some people who are maybe like, I was going to buy a Tesla. I don't like Elon Musk now, so I'm not. And you know, generally right-wing people are probably more like
and also
Ford F-150 guys.
There is a bit of when you have a car, like a lot of people like are that car for life.
Yeah.
So
for
when when there's people that are just like, I'll never drive Tesla again, you're like, you just lost like 12 car sales.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe not 12, but you know.
I don't know. I mean, I do kind of wonder the extent to which he can like properly manage the company with all the other shit he's doing.
That's what I've been saying too.
Yeah, that's obviously like.
I saw him in an interview. They go, "How are you managing the company?" He goes, "With great difficulty."
Yeah, that I like. You know, if I was a shareholder of Tesla, I'd be like, yeah, that's a concern of mine. But
people are running damage though. Like everyone's, you know, there was obviously the notes like, "Sorry about your swastika."
Well, dude, they're like there was like a huge protest
right and left
in New York City.
Danny Mullen, who I was just with, did his show. He got in a fight with the guy at the Tesla rally.
Yeah, but then Trump just said that they're labeling people who like do like not like protesting, but like if you do any sort of like physical or like property damage as domestic terrorists, which is pretty crazy.
What is the definition of domestic terrorism?
It's just terror. I mean, it's just a terrorist. I mean, I don't know if you
toilet.
saw. Yeah. Well, I mean, you saw they're like deporting that guy who was at the Columbia protests.
I know.
Or whatever. Essentially saying because he has
as a green card holder, didn't love that.
Well, just don't. I mean, look, if you're a fucking here as a guest of the United States, you shouldn't be protesting anything.
Do you consider yourself a guest? I'm a resident.
Well, if you're a non-citizen living in the United States.
Okay, but if you're a permanent resident,
I understand permanent resident, but being a permanent resident and being a citizen are different.
Barely.
Well, no, not barely. You can't vote.
Sure.
I just don't think if you're not a citizen, you shouldn't be protesting the country you're not a citizen. And I would say that for any country in the world. That's like a crazy thing to go live in a different country and then protest the country.
What?
I don't know. I wouldn't be doing that.
I mean, okay, if right now on the podcast you were just like,
I'm not saying you can't be critical like of saying something. I'm saying like actively going and like, I don't know. I just think that
like if you went to a protest, you think you should be able to be deported?
I mean, I don't. Probably not, but you know, he was handing out like death to America. Like, I think yes, if I fucking handing out death to America, like pamphlets, and they're like, we're deporting you for that, I'm not gonna be like,
you wouldn't be surprised. Well, I'll tell you, I do. Okay, I'll tell you what I do, and this is one of the reasons.
I obviously think you should like be able to go on Twitter and be like, yeah, Trump's doing some stupid shit, like, and not be deported. And I don't know where.
The wishy-washy line is kind of, you know, that's the difference between free speech, and I think they had that. They had a lot of cases where they kind of had people that didn't live here that still have free speech rights or whatever while you're here. But the other part, you know, according to the law, but the other part is I will agree with you that as a green card, I've always been a little cautious of like, let's say getting in a fight.
Yeah.
Like let's say you're at a bar or something that happened and like a guy bumps you or whatever, or like even doing videos or whatever happens.
Or telling someone on the subway to turn their damn speaker down.
Yeah, I've always been hesitant of that. Like if I'm drinking or anything like that, and someone like bumps me. Whereas
Right.
like before I'm very hesitant of like getting in a fight because like imagine whatever, anything can happen in a fight. You punch a guy, he falls over, or like you both get arrested or drunk and disorderly.
Yeah.
I've always
A
felt like I
mix-up
don't want to
or-
get fucking arrested because I'm not a
Yeah,
citizen.
and I assure you that has happened before where someone in that exact position.
But then on the other side, I am kind of doing, I don't know, I'm kind of doing wild shit a little bit. I guess the
Yeah.
Nelk boys always had that problem where like the Nelk boys were having trouble with their citizenship because they got like arrested and it was
Right.
causing like a huge nightmare
Yeah.
and they were like visa holders or whatever.
For
but,
sure.
I mean, I don't know. It does feel like
I'm not saying
again,
you
it's
can't like go to like, you know, whatever. You want to go walk in a fucking like, and again, if you were just one of these people who are just straight up like, yo, they're doing a pro-Palestine thing and I'm just like walking in it. Like, no, they're not dinging you for that. Those aren't the people.
You're saying if you're not a citizen, you should be careful before you get too involved.
Yeah, like, I mean, again, this guy got way too comfortable because Biden was just like, do anything you want. We don't care. Like, and nobody was really like, you know, there was people who were saying like, this is, you know, maybe tasteless and all the like certain intimidation things that they were doing, but there was no repercussions and there was no threats of repercussions ever. So they were like comfortable doing it. But I mean, there is a statute for the green card where they're like they have all these things related to supporting terrorism. Now, some people are like, they're not
What's
supporting
terrorism?
What's
Yeah.
terrorism? I understand that.
Well, whenever they do more
And I
supporting
don't-
terrorism things, it's always like, you know, short. Again, it's like whenever they're like, here's the supporting terrorism stuff, it's always a pretty short leash to when like more stuff's considered terrorism.
Of course. Like I'm saying, like now they're like, so you're like, you have a green card and you're at a Tesla dealership. Now, again, if you're going and like fucking smashing a Cybertruck window,
Well, the supporting
that's a crime.
The supporting is different than doing it.
This guy
yeah.
wasn't charged with a crime.
That's what I'm saying.
And I still believe like he should have due process. Like I think it's crazy if they're just like, yo, we're just renditioning you and fucking sending you back to wherever you came from. Like that is crazy. But I think it sounds like some judge blocked it and like he will have some sort of due process and it might be blocked. Like I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if I was in Saudi Arabia, like, I wouldn't be fucking, and I was living in Saudi Arabia, I sure as hell would not be protesting the government there. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just like America. We have a different standard.
That's
here.
obviously true, but it's not. That's a move to America for more free speech, not less.
Right. But regardless of why you moved here, you're just like, you are somewhat of a guest.
I'll tell you, I've been with all the Trump stuff. I've been trying to like hitting up every smart person I know and like asking people things and trying to make sense of it all. I've never seen a bigger difference between and most people are kind of like, I don't know.
I mean, you can't know.
You know what?
He's running the greatest economic experiment that's ever been run.
You know what? Yeah, that's true. But
you're like with it's never been run before, so you can't say.
The one thing that I will admit is if he is doing his like art of the deal tactics, he has to act like I'm fucking anything.
crazy.
I'm loco.
I mean, look, there is some like
because if you're arguing with your chick, you have to be willing to be like, I'll walk at anything. Fine, maybe
Yeah.
I'll crash the fucking economy.
I mean, dude, it's a very new thing for him to say, like, I don't really care about the stock market, and he doesn't right now. Like, and look, there is a potential that these tariffs, even though
if stock market goes up, I mean, who cares if it goes down for a bit? The question is, what does it look like long term? Yeah.
long term, it's always up. Like, you give it a long enough time frame, it's
Well, it depends. Yeah, if I'm talking like a year from now.
a year from now. Who knows? Like, you could never know. But like, you know,
I'll tell you what, it made liberals like care about the stock market.
Yeah.
Like it made a lot of people that are just like,
well, they're just trying to be like, oh, you like that?
but it is, yeah, but I feel like there's so many people that are just like all these companies and their profits that are now, and like Bezos, look how much money he made, like all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And now they're just like, Trump's taking away Bezos' money. Like,
He's making Elon Musk so poor.
kind of.
Yeah, but I mean, look, he's like what he's essentially what he's trying to do is like, you know, the U.S. does have an unsustainable amount of debt. Like, there's no question about that. Like, they were adding $1 trillion of debt every 100 days.
Yeah,
which is like fucking crazy, and they have to refinance it. And the best way to refinance it is by like the 10-year interest rate. Basically, the interest rate's going lower. And so a lot of this stuff, like him just being unpredictable and crazy, like the markets, all they really like is certainty, just knowing what's going on. And when there's lots of uncertainty, people buy bonds. They take their money out of stocks, they buy bonds, which will then cause the rates to go down. So just the uncertainty that he's creating without necessarily doing too much stuff, just being crazy.
The uncertainty is the main thing that the market.
But that's kind of accomplishing his goal here.
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
Right? So you're like, if that's even what his actual grand plan was, is go, I'm going to be such a wild card and accomplish my goal, then you're like, okay, goal accomplished, and then the markets will be back where they were in fucking 6 months.
I did see some people talking about it where they're like, what do you think the reason is? Then they were sticking with the story that it's about fentanyl.
It's not about fentanyl.
I know, but my point to you was like, if it's actually, if they were right, because there's some pretty like high people that are still sticking with that story. But imagine that was true. It's like, well, then everyone's dissecting his moves like rap, like how they dissect Kendrick Lamar's lyrics.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, what he really means is like, what you don't understand is this is actually a play on this, and this is a nod to 1964.
No, and again, like the fentanyl thing, you're like, look, if you really like, as much as you want to blame other countries, like, you know, Canada's not like the majority of illegal guns that come into Canada come from the United States. If Canada wants less guns coming in, you go shore up your own border. Mm-hmm. That's how that works. Is you go, you don't like stuff coming into your country. It's on your country to like defend your border and like shore it up. If you need more fucking border agents, but like to just go blame the other countries for the stuff coming in, you're like, you're the defense for the stuff coming in, right? So it's like to say like, oh, the fentanyl is coming from Canada, even though that's not the issue. That was his pretext because he needed to use like emergency tariff powers, and it's the only way you can do it. But like,
what are you on Danny's stock picks right now? Are you a buy? Are you buy or sell?
Probably in the short term, sell.
Oh, even you think we're even short, more sell right now?
I mean, he wants the 10-year interest rates. I think they're as of today like four and change. I think he wants them like 3%. So
it might be. But you're saying buy a house in a year.
Maybe. I mean,
wait to buy your first mortgage.
But you know, but like you know, I imagine real estate will kind of track equities to some degree. So yeah, I would hold off. I would hold off on probably buying any sort of like real estate just because but again, it's such a hard thing to time.
I know.
Like if you're trying to time it like to the day, like you're not going to.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, you know, if you find something that seems reasonable, you can get a low mortgage rate. It's probably the move.
Fellas, we've been talking about this all episode long, and when you're a guy, you're pretty much stuck with what you got. You're not putting out there wearing makeup. You can't, there's no amount of, they don't have
no way to church it up.
There's no way to church it up is the perfect way to express that. So Meundies is finally unveiling their gift to help men feel and look bigger. We're talking about the contoured pouch and ball caddy, the micro model sling that keeps things separated and lifted. 9 out of 10 women swear this sophisticated brief technology will make you look huge, and that's all that matters, right? So it's not something you normally think about, but the way your underwear fits on your body is what it and everyone's been in a situation where you're like, I'm looking fucking nice today.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
How about that? What if you have that feeling all of the time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Would be nice.
You go, I'm sort of cooking today more than yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
What if you're all in those days where you're like, that's kind of not cooking great today?
No.
What if we could just sit in the cooking great days?
Turn the thermostat up a little bit.
What if we could just always sit in that now we're cooking era?
Yeah.
Well, we got a style for everyone, from black classics to fun expressive prints. Meundies has a look for everyone. Plus, they come in all sizes, XS to 4XL, guaranteed a flattering cut for every body. Unmatched comfort, versatile loungewear, problem-free philosophy with responsibly sourced. These are sustainably sourced materials and work with partners that care for their workers. So good things come in big packages at Meundies. Get 20% off your first order plus free shipping on orders of $75 or more at Meundies.com/boyscast. Enter the promo code boyscast, and that is Meundies.com/boyscast with the code boyscast for 20% off. Meundies, comfort from the outside in. Fellas, spring cleaning time has arrived. You're getting rid of all the junk. Maybe that cord bucket goes in the garbage. Maybe you're moving. A lot of people moving this season. Well, you know what else? It's time to get rid of your old deodorant. And that is one of the most exciting things about getting rid of stuff is you go, you know what? Garbage.
Afuera.
Afuera. Yeah, you are sort of afuera on your own on your old deodorant and switching over to MANDO, which you can use for the rest of your life. And if you haven't started using MANDO, whole body deodorant, and it has been an absolute game changer for many men. From the founder of Lume, MANDO whole body deodorant is helping men conquer odor in a new way. What I like best about MANDO is it just straight up lasts longer than other deodorants, and they've got the soap, so you're covered from all the, you're covered on every which way.
Head to toe to grundle.
Head to toe to grundle, and they've actually done studies on the body odor, and these guys, it just lasts way longer than all the other ones. I think the actual information was that it was clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average grundle odor was 5 out of 10. With MANDO, it was a 0 out of 10. Ooh. So this is coverage for up to 72 hours, which is like the amount of times people are like, in the morning, maybe, you know what it is? Maybe you played like outdoor basketball and then you're walking home.
Rode a hot subway.
Yeah, that's like a huge one in the summer, right? Yeah, you walk around all day and you're just like, you need to be applying deodorant every 2 seconds. Yeah. Well, then maybe you have your bag with you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're like, how many times have you been with someone, they're like, I probably got to go home before I go out.
Yeah, because the grundle's stinking.
Well, the whole body deodorant, safe to use anywhere on your body, pits, balls, thighs, folds, belly buttons, butt crack, feet, everywhere. It's created by a doctor who saw firsthand how BO was being misdiagnosed, mistreated. So this is, we're talking 72 hours, clinically proven. All products are baking soda free, paraben free, and you choose from a variety of fresh scents like bourbon leather, Clover Woods, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport. So if you want to try out America's #1 whole body smelling deodorant formula right now, you can find them in Walmart, Target, other retailers across the country, and you can go to shopmando.com. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers, comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And as a special offer for our BOYSCAST listeners, new customers get $5 off the starter pack with our exclusive code. That is BOYSCAST. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack with the code BOYSCAST. Shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, boost your confidence from head to toe with MANDO. A lot of people were saying that, because Trudeau's out. We didn't even mention that.
Is he? I still don't get it.
He's still around. Well, it's like a crazy thing because how the Canadian parliament system is, you're basically the head of the party forms the government.
Yeah.
So he's basically, when he steps down, they do like an election within the party, kind of like how they do primaries. Yeah. And they did like 2,000 people voted in it. It was like no one.
It was like 100,000, but like it's still very minimal.
It's just people who are registered for the thing. 100,000 in a population.
And all these people got disqualified. Like there was basically like a few 100,000 people got disqualified.
So basically, this guy, and he jumped in and he's out at day one, being like, I'm basically the prime minister now. Do something about it.
Yeah, he is essentially the prime minister.
Ran the fucking Bank of Canada now, and the prime minister,
and the Bank of England, and fucked up England pretty bad. Like he did not do a good job in England.
How did he? That's government. Hey, you fail upward.
Well, he did a good job in Canada. So then when they were looking for head of the Bank of England, I think he went to Oxford. I don't know if he has.
So you're saying he did good in Canada, then he didn't do as good in America.
Fucked up England. He was the head of the Bank of Canada during the Great Financial Crisis in 2007, 8 or whatever. Under Harper, and he did a good job. But then
Canada famously did okay there.
Yeah, but then he fucked up pretty badly with the whole Brexit and all that shit in England. But again, the more important thing is that in order for me to be the prime minister or the head of a party, you have to be an elected MP, like essentially like a congressperson in the United States. He's never been elected to anything.
Like, they seem to be turning a blind eye to that.
But again, it's like likely there'll be an election in like there'll be an election called probably in the next 2 weeks, and they'll have the election probably some point in April. So it's very likely short-lived, although he's making up a lot of ground in the polls. Like I've seen some polls.
Because everyone hates Trump so much, and then Poilievre's kind of associated with that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and again, the Liberals, as stupid as they are for a lot of things, they did kind of see the writing on the wall here, where they're like, there is a pathway for them to get reelected by essentially just fighting. I mean, although really the Prime Minister of Canada right now is Doug Ford.
It does seem like it, man.
Dude, Dougie! It makes no sense. It literally,
Doug Ford, for the Australian listeners, Doug Ford really reminds me of like how Australian politicians are. He's the Barnaby Joyce of fucking Canada. Because he's very much just like a bro from fucking, he's kind of like a dumber Trump a little bit,
kind
maybe.
of.
And maybe not dumb, maybe not dumber, but more
he
like.
He talks really slow. So.
But like he's kind of like that, like he's more of like, kind of like a rich poor person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
in
for
the way that
sure.
Trump's
Yeah,
that.
he's like a rich everyman.
A rich everyman that you could, I guess he does. He probably drinks. He probably knocks him back, whereas Trump doesn't really drink.
No, Trump doesn't drink.
Like you could see him.
He likes to pop.
Doug
on
Ford
the fucking dock of the cottage.
That's what I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
man. You get the campfire cooking. Woo! Was that night on Bob Cajun? Watch the constellations align themselves one light at a time.
Star at a time.
One star at a time. Couldn't remember it.
Yeah. But I mean, it is pretty unprecedented.
Loves the hip. He sees the hip for sure.
Oh yeah, big hip head, fucking practically and tragically.
And he's basically coming to White House now, and he's taking over the negotiating for Canada.
He's just like the head of Canada essentially right now because he's the one who
de facto.
Well,
he's like a hothead too.
Well, he's a hothead. He literally yesterday was like, we're tariffing electricity, and then essentially Trump's like, that's like an act of war.
I actually saw a pretty funny one because he said that, and then the fucking new prime minister guy posted the same day. He goes, he was like, Israel's putting electricity. They're not releasing electricity to Gaza. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. Like, we need to stop this like atrocity. And it's like this same day they're just like, we're not doing electricity in America. Obviously,
Well, they were shutting off electricity.
Obviously, it's a little different, but yeah,
for sure. But I mean,
well, Doug Ford's threatened to shut it off.
Yeah, he has threatened to shut it off. Yeah,
he threatened to shut it off.
Yeah, he did.
He goes. He puts his hand on the thing. He goes, "You want me to fucking? You want me? You want me?" Just one guy's fucking.
Again, though, it's such a bad move for Canada. Like I know
Detroit Wing Shack.
Yeah. I know Canada can't do nothing because that's like kind of a bitch move to be like, we're just gonna like take it, like fucking
take it on the chin,
and just do nothing.
No, that's what Mike Myers said. Elbows up
or whatever. But you're like, first off, he did the threats, and then Trump's like, okay, well then we're doubling the tariffs, and then he goes, okay, we're removing them then. So he removed them within.
I know Doug Ford's
within 2 hours. He removed them, and it's funny because if you read like left wing media, they're all like, Trump caves to Doug Ford, and you're like, no, Trump was just like, we're going to destroy your economy even further. But again, you can't talk about annexing a country and expect them to just be like, okay.
Yeah, what are they supposed to do?
Yeah, like what the fuck are they supposed to do? But like my dad used to work for Ontario Hydro, and I was like, what happens in this scenario? My dad's like, probably America can handle it. They just get power from neighboring states, and there might be some like temporary like
a week where it's a weird
inconveniences.
Do you remember in Toronto when the electricity went out?
Yeah.
And then, dude, they basically had like a flood.
Yeah.
The whole fucking city flooded. You would walk onto like a street. It'd be the equivalent of being in like New York on First Avenue.
Yeah.
And you're walking down the street.
Cars are like underwater.
Cars are underwater. The thing's up to your waist. People are like putting like when you see like New Orleans after the hurricanes, it was like that in Toronto. I don't know if it
There's multiple. There were 2 blackouts because there's the blackout.
It's like pretty crazy.
Remember, there's like the real blackout in like 2004. And then there was another one, and I want to say like 2011.
Yeah, but the one with the flood was the crazy one.
Yeah,
just like I live in downtown, like one of the biggest top 5 metropolitans in like North America.
When Sandy happened here, Hurricane Sandy, I think a lot of like the Lower East Side had like no power for like days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the no power one was, to me, that's why I'm trying to reiterate. No power to me was less crazy than like the whole city's flooded for like, and not because of like anything. I don't think it was natural.
No, it's just a lot of rain. Well, I mean, Toronto floods all the time. It just gets a lot of rain, and it just doesn't.
Not like this.
Not good drainage.
You're floating around.
No, I remember.
See a fat lady back stroking down fucking First Avenue.
Right before I moved, I remember there was that bridge on like King and Dufferin, and like you go under, and there's like the train tracks, and it like dips below on King Street in Toronto. Anyways, there was like
dude, that's where I lived.
Yeah, that's where you lived.
We both lived.
Yeah,
there.
that's what I'm saying. And I was going home from basketball one day, and it just started raining. And then as I was getting there, I was just like, I saw all these cars like stuck under the bridge because people, I don't know what people.
Did you say, "Fuck, I should have sucked that guy's dick"? The floods have begun.
But it's so funny that people like don't understand that you're like, you can't just gun it through like high water.
Oh yeah,
in your car. Like people see like a bunch of water and they go, I'm just gonna fucking pin it. And you're like, no, you just get stuck.
Yeah, they're getting stuck.
You don't float.
Yeah, that was a wild time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess some version of that could happen with the electricity for like a second. But
yeah, I mean, again, it would be like an act of war if you shut off electricity, especially with Trump. Trump's going to be like, I don't give a shit that I'm tariffing you. You're shutting off our power. That's like an act of war, essentially. So
I got my eyes on the whole thing. I'll tell you what my plan is personally.
Yeah.
I'm looking at stocks a little bit where I'm just like, if things go lower, I'm kind of going to buy a little on the way down. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of thinking of that.
That is the move to do. It's like, again, if you are a Trump believer, right, and you go like, what his plan to essentially like raise external revenues, lower the taxes, lower the national debt, bring manufacturing back, lower the dollar. If you think he's going to do that, like stocks are going to be way fucking higher, way higher. Now, if you think he's going to fail and he doesn't know what he's doing,
and just like,
and he's just going to crash the markets and whatever. But again, you forget like he
turn that
he
around.
Did this in his last term. He can put out literally 2 tweets and make the markets go up 5%. Like he can just put out 2 tweets saying like, and he doesn't even have to do anything. Like he doesn't have to say like I'm signing executive order. He can just put out 2 tweets being like I'm considering this.
Wall Street really does just get like they kind of just get flung around everywhere.
But, I mean, a lot of the smart money, like Warren Buffett, like is sitting on $360 billion.
I know, right?
In T-bills.
Did he buy anything yet?
You wouldn't know because I think he only has to release it either monthly or quarterly. His buys, so you wouldn't know.
I know. I knew that Buffett was sitting on a ton of cash.
He's sitting on a ton of cash, which is.
I like listening to things every now and then where it's like there's that guy who does like interviews with him and Charlie Munger.
Yeah,
they have some like okay like philosophies.
I mean, they're literally the 2 best fucking minds.
But then not even about investing. They're just like
they're mental models for life.
One of the mental models that I thought that like those guys talk about that I think that so many people are wrong about. I guess it's the same as Jerry Seinfeld where he goes, when you're trying to make a TV show, it's like that's a hit. And I think this sometimes with like videos, like making something like that is like so hard, like a hit. It's like, or a song. It's like, throwing a dart at a dartboard with a blindfold on. Yeah. And then he was like, it doesn't help to have your arm have 10 people holding it.
Sure. Yeah,
but they talk a lot about like the importance of like having people that are good, tie them into metrics and like leave them alone.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I think that's good thing. But yeah, the whole Canada thing this is going to be a fucking mess. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not loving it, but
Danny's not loving it.
I don't really know. Like I don't think Mark Carney will be good. I don't think anybody can really negotiate with him. He's
seems
not
like
really open to negotiation.
Yeah, and also it's even a bit worse because he's sort of like doing 2 things at the same time. He's sort of like saying what the people want him to say, and then he's also trying to solve the problem at the same time, which is a bad combo.
Like as crazy as it sounds, Canada's best bet might just be to like accept the tariffs and just kind of not reciprocate, even though that like Canadians are like, why should we?
You have to put up some fight because otherwise they'd just be like, we'll do more then.
Well, I mean, I guess at some point, I don't know. I'm talking about like maybe the best possible outcome because I don't think just this tit for tat, we're tariffing you, then Trump goes, okay, well then it goes to 50%.
Well, that's not gonna
and then
work.
we go, okay, well then we go to 50%. And he's like,
you're
okay,
saying
75%.
From an actual game theory perspective, what's your best thing?
I think the biggest risk to Canada personally, as in terms of like an actual sovereignty thing, if would be, I had a guy I was talking to the other day who's in the Canadian military. Do you know that there's more CRA officers than Canadian military?
What's CRA?
The IRS, Canada Revenue Agency. There's more employees. So, dude, Canada Revenue Agency has 90,000 employees.
What?
For 41 million people. Sorry, 60,000 employees for 41 million people.
What do they do?
The IRS has
how many people are they auditing?
The IRS has 90,000 for 340 million.
The hell?
Dude, it's like the proportion is insane. But
the IRS is more aggressive like than the Canadian IRS.
I mean, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah, sure.
Dude, in America, you don't pay your taxes, they put you in jail. In Canada, they go, hey.
No, they put you in jail for not paying your taxes.
I mean, they give you 10 trillion warnings. It's not nearly as
It depends what you're doing. Like, if you're...
Like, there's lots of people I know that were, like, up to some shenanigans. They moved to America, and they're like, no more shenanigans.
Yeah, no more shenanigans. Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, it's just crazy. They're like, there's 60,000 military, and there's 60,000 CRA officers. Like CRA employees, essentially.
Yeah, that's a funny stat. Interesting.
Yeah, but there's only 60,000 military. But I was talking to this guy who's in the military out west, and he's just like, dude, we're fucked. Like, we're so demoralized. Like, literally.
I know people in the military. They show up and they just wrestle all day long.
He's like, our equipment sucks. Like,
not all of them. But.
Yeah, but he's like, our equipment sucks. Like, he was kind of half joking, but he's like, I have a white flag prepared in case of invasion. But I could see a scenario where essentially Alberta, like, because the thing right now, what's going on in Canada is Ontario, like Doug Ford is essentially like the face of Canada for some reason, even though he's just the premier of a province.
He's just self-appointed.
No fucking sense.
The loudest.
But he's the loudest, yeah, and he's doing the most shit. But there's like all this pressure on Alberta and Saskatchewan, but Alberta mostly to be like, yo, you need to slap a big tariff on oil. They're like, we don't want to do that because we don't want to hurt our province, which is famously like provided the most money to the country and treated the worst by the federal government. Like, you know, they're like, we don't feel like we're represented at all. And so they're trying to be forced to be like, yo, you got to this elbows up shit. We're all on the same team.
And they're like, no.
And they're like, no. And then Saskatchewan, which produces potash, which is essentially like a fertilizer and sends like America is a huge importer of that stuff. They're trying to do the same to them. They're saying, hey, like, you need to
put tariffs
on potash. They're like, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to fucking ruin our province and all our money just because like over this thing.
Stand.
But everybody's like, we got to organize as Canada and like do this all together. So I could see some scenario where like there's a provincial rift essentially where like, you know, certain provinces don't want to play ball, and then maybe like Alberta starts having like which they've had for a long time, like you know, a small secession movement. They have a larger secession movement, and if for whatever reason they were somehow to go independent or join the United States, I think the rest of the country would just be in shambles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to transmaxing.
I like it.
How
It's transmaxing.
This is
It's not the same as being regular trans.
No,
Just to be clear.
transmaxing is incredible.
I don't.
So this is the reason why it's kind
This
of
is when you're on 4chan and you go trans.
And there was basically a big documentary about it, and then the community has been growing, and it's basically like people, kind of like what they're calling.
Do regular trans people? They don't like this.
I can't imagine they love it.
No.
I'll read the thing.
But this person is trans. Like they're not like, oh, I like pretend to be a woman. They're like, this chick's dude sucking dicks.
They're saying it's a life hack to get a high value. You go, if you can't be a high value man, be with a high value man.
Yeah, so you're like, you're gay. But it's like you're being gay now. Like they're
How are they gay, Danny? It's a woman.
but they're like formally. They say they're
Think for two. Use your fucking head.
I was hurting my head
For 2 seconds.
So they're formally men incels. This is like basically the incel to transgender pipeline.
Yeah.
And they go, I couldn't cut it as
a wise dude.
Couldn't cut it as a beta man. So they're like,
So I'm cutting it as a woman sucking. This is how you remind me that I'm with other men.
yeah, but so they're like, I couldn't get chicks, so I'm just gonna suck dicks.
But it stems from, so you got it about right. Okay. But the part that I'd add to it is it sort of stems from this idea that like men have it so much harder.
Yeah.
And like they've been kind of talking about this in the forums, being like, do you know how hard it is to be a man? Like, you know, women have it so much easier. They don't have to pay
Women
for
have
anything.
it so much easier for some things.
Yeah, well, they're saying on aggregate, it's easier to be a woman.
Yeah.
And they're saying like, well, the next logical step is, you know, it's their version of the woman one that was like, women are just as good as men. And then 2024, women are men.
Yeah.
This is them being like, women have it way easier and being like,
Sure.
I'd like to have it easier. I can have it easier.
Okay. All right. But you have to be gay. You were like beta, and now you're like, I'm so beta. I'm such a beta man. I'm sucking dicks now.
That's the part that makes it a little more complicated.
That's the confusing part.
That's the confusing part where they think they've cracked the code and you're just like, well, you're sucking dick and you're like, you're getting caught up on the details.
Yeah, I do like that this person's like, yeah, you know, I didn't want to have to be like one of those guys who like go gets a personal trainer and gets jacked to get chicks. So I just became effeminate to get dudes.
Problem solved.
Problem solved. You're like, what problem is this solving? I think you were gay, bud. I think you were a confused gay man. Is what
Me thinks you're gay, man.
That's what it sounds like.
It definitely sounds like you're gay.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like you were gay. He was gay the whole time.
Definitely a little bit. It wouldn't solve my problems, I'll tell you that much.
No.
Being a man is so much hard work, so I became a woman inside the transmaxing trend. But they're doing a trend too. You're forgetting about that part. They're like, you're sucking dick. You're like, yeah, I guess that happens to be one of the trends that I'm doing right now.
Inside the transgender trend. Yeah, we noticed that it's a bit trendy.
So they're just doing a trend. You forgot about that. Where men swap gender to female for benefits like cheaper car insurance, free meals, and sex.
How much cheaper is your car insurance? $20 a month?
It sounds like a lot of backdating that you want to be.
Yeah, you go, I'm saving. Yeah, I suck dick now, but I save $20 a month on my fucking Geico.
Put that in the Geico commercial. I agree that the Transmaxxing thing, but I wouldn't be bringing it up if it wasn't like a lot of people.
Yeah,
They did this documentary, it's a whole community, so it's not just like one guy, and every single one of them.
Let me guess, they're all autistic.
Well, that's I think generally what the kind of the underlying thing. I mean, a lot of that deep incel, like what we described as incel or 4chan, there's a lot of autistics in that.
Oh yeah,
and then the crossover in trans people, there's a lot of autistics. Yeah, so that is true. But I can't imagine the trans people love the, formerly incel.
Well, they probably I can't believe we didn't think of calling it Transmaxxing. That's way better.
Yeah, Transmaxxing is not bad
Yeah,
for a
that
name.
is
They did okay on the branding. Well, that's what happens when you have dudes branding a movement.
I mean, dudes also did brands transgender though.
Did they?
Well, they're mostly dudes.
They used to call it transsexual.
Transvestites, transsexuals.
Transvestites.
Yeah.
Transvestites has way more of a ring to it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Transvestite had the most ring to it of all of them.
No.
Vestite. That's
I
a good
know.
word.
I don't know. It seemed like they were like a vampire or something.
Welcome to the world of transmaxing. Low-value males who are struggling with the
That is I.
or former incels transitioning to females to cash in on the benefits of womanhood, cheap car insurance all around, and once you've bagged a high-value man, someone who is wealthy and attractive, thereby making them deeply desirable. So it's kind of a Chuck and Larry situation a little bit.
How do I become deeply desirable? By becoming a chick.
Remember the lyric? Commissary, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
See you at the commissary. Now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Old rap lyric me and Danny used to say.
Scary. What was it?
There you go, because one of them was like scary at the commissary. Me and Danny used to say, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Hard to explain the joke, but
Oh, fucking economic
it was a big one in our group. But the other part that you've pointed out the first part where it's like, I don't know if this is totally solving your problem unless you're gay. The second part is they graze over this part where they're like, I'm a low value male and women don't like me. So I come a male, obviously get like this really high value male who's rich. And then after that, and you're like, well, how'd that part happen?
Yeah. Did you go back to being a man at some point?
Yeah, but also you're just like, is there just like this, is there an abundance of like, 1% men that are like jacked and rich that are trying to fuck like incel with a wig and pay for everything?
I guess. It sounds like the joke's on us a little bit.
I didn't realize there was so many high value men that were just like, can't wait to bang like some incel that, put some lipstick on last week.
I suppose.
The incel community's realized I've fundamentally misidentified the problem. This is some autistic work here, right? Most incels that I come across think their problem is women and the lack of attraction to women feel towards them. But I told them the problem isn't women aren't attracted to you. The problem is you're attracted to women. So this is Eddie Murphy meme like to the max, right? See, Danny this whole time was thinking the problem that women are attracted to me. The problem is that you're attracted to women. Now we're fucking thinking.
Now we're thinking. Turning the tables.
They sort of turn into a hustle mindset a little bit. Like, no excuses. What's your excuse to not be rich? You know what I mean?
Because you're not gay. Well, how do you be gay?
How much does it cost to get a wig on Amazon? How much does it cost to buy lipstick? You're fucking $40. By the end of the week, I have 9 high-value males, each giving me $1,000 each. I'm collecting $10,000 a month passive income.
I've started prostituting myself, which unlocks all sorts of new revenue
They
streams.
turned a guy becoming a transgender prostitute into like a pyramid.
Like Hustler University.
Hustler, yes.
This is the new module.
Do you think this was in Hustlers U? Do you think one of the courses was
Become a
this?
chick. I mean, a lot of Hustlers U is making money off of chicks.
Yeah.
How do you make money off of chicks? Become a chick.
Fucking open your brain.
Open your brain.
If you open your brain for 2 seconds.
Listen up, brokey. You're broke because you're a man. Women make money. Be a woman.
You're not broke because you're a man. You're not broke because you're a man. You're a man because you're broke.
Yeah. I mean, this dude does somehow look better as a chick.
At the end of the if you're like really like
like a
frail dude, like skinny and
super skinny, like he
then you
looked
might
like
be
a
able-
serial killer as a guy, and then he
Yeah.
just looks like a gross chick now.
which you're right, gross chick. But again, I don't know if gross chick is like swimming in like billionaires.
I mean, yeah, no, billionaires probably not, but free meals and cheaper auto insurance. Hey, I wonder how does auto insurance treat being transgender?
I think the one you switched to.
The one you switched to.
Which obviously does not.
Go, yeah, because I remember there was a guy in Ontario in like I think 2018 or something who changed his gender for cheaper auto insurance, and then everybody was really mad about that because it was in like the height of like that's wrong.
Well, can you imagine?
This isn't a choice.
Well, if that worked, can you imagine that article coming out being like, man just says he's a woman and gets cheaper car insurance. This guy's got 2 dicks in his mouth, being like, huh? That seemed easier. It appears, he talks. They talk like that.
It appears I have been bested.
It appears I
guess once an incel, always an incel. Even in my womanhood, I am a low-value male.
yeah, he definitely talks like that. Where they revealed at the end of last year, Transmaxxing posted on the Reddit forum where they revealed they had similarly been rejected by girls and bullied by alphas for being a virgin loser. Now, the very same alphas that bullied me bend on their knees, just have a chance of kissing my feet. No, they
getting fucked in the ass. Who's the virgin loser now? You got us, man. You got us. Just getting pounded. Who's the virgin loser now?
Now. He does sort of the things he said sort of do read in that tone, because he goes, they've been rejected by girls and alphas. Now those very same alpha males that bullied me bend on their knees to have a chance of kissing my feet. That's what he said. That's peak like Reddit talk.
Yeah, I know.
I really don't think what you mean is the same type, because I have a feeling it wasn't the exact same guy.
No, it wasn't the exact dude.
It's the virgin loser now.
I mean, yeah, like if you're willing to accept this new this new life.
My direct messages are full of thirsty men begging for my attention, and I'm having more sex than any alpha male I've ever met.
Except for the ones I'm fucking.
He says, I'm having more sex than any alpha males. Yeah, you're right. He's definitely wants to graze over the fact that, but it's with dudes.
Yeah, it's with dudes. That doesn't count.
It was never, you also could get, you know what? Also, you could have sex with a lot of dudes without putting the wig on and stuff.
Oh, yeah. You
like
would have been a twink.
If you think that if you think having sex with dudes is the goal.
This guy with a haircut would have been just like a proper twink.
It really is change your goal to,
Yeah, I don't.
It's like a guy that's mining for gold, and then he was like, and then he goes, actually, I was looking for rocks this whole time. Jokes. You go, none of that's real gold. You go, joke's on you, because I've been looking for just rocks.
Yes.
So actually, I've been very successful in my mission. It's actually you've interpreted what I'm trying to do. I was looking to get the maximum amount of air balls that I could in an hour.
It's like golf, different scoring system.
So it is you who's actually misinterpreted my loss. Yeah. I was looking to have the most points at the golf course. Thirsty men begging for my attention. I have more sex. It's a life hack for him.
Yeah, I mean, cool life hack. I mean, it's been a life hack for people for a decade.
Being gay?
Trans.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a bit of a life hack. You're a little late to this life hack thing.
Yeah, they're solving a different problem, though. Yeah. I guess if he's trying to solve his problem of getting attention.
Well, he wants status and attention, and, that's been going on for a bit now.
So there maybe is something to be said that you have more status as a trans person than an incel.
Oh, absolutely.
That's for no questions asked. However, what's that status worth to you? Is it worth banging a bunch of dudes?
I mean, this person's gay. They're not just being like this.
On the contrary.
They're obviously not like, oh, this is so disgusting, but I loved so much status and attention.
That's funny, because I'm reading the definition of homosexuality. It is a man having intercourse with another man. I see one man in the room. Where is this second man that you have said to be referring to?
Sure. Yeah, you got us.
Definitely.
Joke's on us.
Hold one over on you.
Yeah. I'm the loser here.
I actually saw Armie Hammer has been doing interviews, which is Armie
Yeah,
Hammer
of
had all
course.
his scandals where people said he
Yeah,
was in the
listen to-
cannibal
listen
cult
to
and all
him
this
on,
stuff.
What podcast was he on?
The British guy.
Which one?
I think you probably saw. He's like he's the British guy that my money likes to jiggle, jiggle. It folds. You know that guy?
Yeah.
You know that guy, right?
Yeah. I can't remember his name. But
They're driving in my 6'4". I want to see you.
My money like
My money don't jiggle, jiggle.
Yeah. Oh no. Sorry, I was listening. Tim Dillon did a recap of his podcast. He has a podcast now. Armie
Hammer's got a
With
podcast.
it, and it was like with his.
Is it
mom.
called Dropping the Hammer?
No,
should
I don't
be.
think so. It should be. It might be, but it was with his mom, I think.
That's a good way to bring get the sympathy back up. I don't actually know deep enough to know if his was like, there's truth to it or smear job. I mean, it was peak me too.
I don't.
so
he
who
never.
knows?
He never was an actual cannibal. He was just saying crazy shit to girls in DMs. He didn't actually want to.
So I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I never got into it.
I mean, it sounds like he's
never
back
seemed
in the
that
movie.
interesting.
Sounds
to
like
me.
he's back in the movie business. Like I think he's like when he was on the podcast, he was saying like he's back to filming something. So,
Oh well, there you go.
so he's back in.
Well, he goes prior to the encounter, Hammer said he concluded that women are the worst. Notably, this is a joke.
Preach, brother.
Dude, this is like a joke that I've done before where it's like you never see a guy like go gay because of this. But Armie Hammer goes, I was saying that women are the worst. This is after he got all these allegations that were false and they were rallied against him and he was not even charged. He goes, Hammer shared that he decided briefly to experiment with a man and he decided that he met this handsome and French guy and he found himself deterred by the man's facial hair and physical stature. It did absolutely nothing for me. Nothing. Like not even a twitch. So bad way to find that out.
Yeah, it sucks.
Got it.
Am I gay? No, I'm not gay.
Oh, this isn't right for me.
Yuck.
That's like, that seems to me like the equivalent of like eating a log of shit. I'm like, I could probably tell you I don't love it. I feel like I don't need to go through the motions.
No,
Seems unnecessary to be like, fucking, nope, not for me.
deep down, you know that it's not going to be good.
You see the thing with the soccer. Basically said they have mandatory DEI training courses for all coaches, and there was like a big thing. It was like every comment was like, well, yeah, because when you have a situation where 100% of the spectators and players are gay, that you definitely.
Yeah, I mean, the soccer has like a real fucking crazy racism like issue. They like cancel games and stuff.
Yeah, they do have a lot of wild stuff
because
going on.
like the because they have like the two sides and like they have to sit separate or whatever. And like if you're like the opposing side, they just like are.
They're like all
crazy.
Philly fans on crack.
Oh, big time! They make Philly fans look like fucking angels.
No, they make Philly fans look like kings watching a joust, like just so proper.
Super. I know. They're like they say like just like to get under the player's skin, they'll just say like the craziest racist shit where they have to like put rules around it for fans.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're literally like, if the racism continues, racist chants, they're like, we cancel games like in the middle of them.
They have to do the equivalent of like, I'll turn this car around.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, they do have a little less civilized or more.
But on the top, so this is all part of the same topic. But the scientists are back at it again because we've had like 3 weeks, I guess, without scientists. Then he's been gallivanting around in Aruba.
Yeah, Anguilla.
Aruba, Anguilla. But scientists claim that most of us are bisexual. Just like our
dog.
Nah, dog.
Nah, dog.
Nah, you got the fucking wrong one, yo.
No.
So this is what the scientists have been up to while you're on your honeymoon, doing a study to prove that you're fucking actual bi. Oh, that's funny because we did the science and you are.
They literally said there's a scale of 1 to 0, 1 being 100% gay, 0 being 0% gay. That's me.
Yeah,
and
me.
and Ryan maybe allegedly, and then they're like, well, if it's a spectrum, and if you've had 100 sexual encounters and one of them was a homosexual encounter, then you are a 0.0. You're a 0.01.
Okay, so most guys are 0.
Yeah, but I mean, I would go as to say that if you have had one homosexual encounter, you're a 1.
Yeah.
You are in fact now a 1.
Definitely because it's such a ridiculous study because they're based. First of all,
for chicks, you can.
Yes, it's for chicks. Yes, you're like. And the question, you're like, yes, most chicks will make out with a chick at a party, and it's not that gross.
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
you go, okay, yeah, you're a 0.02 or whatever.
fine. If you were talking about chicks, fine, but they're trying to say dudes, and it's like, nah, dog.
Nah, dog.
Because the scientists have like so much bullshit that they have to think that like guys and girls aren't that different. Scientists are out of their minds right now. But according to a recent study, out of 1 million people in the UK, okay, well they're talking about the UK, so you might be onto
A
something.
lot of tossers. A lot of tossers over there. A lot of tossers.
It is funny because there is like the sort of stereotype. I guess Canada's too, but the stereotype of like London's like pretty. But like whenever you meet guys there, they're all like blokes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Bros.
Yeah, they're bros. Identify as bisexual up to. However, the true number of people having both same and opposite sex is much higher. So he doesn't even have stats. He's just kind of saying, "Trust me on this, dog."
Chicks.
No, it's a guy it's the same old story of the scientist trying to prove that it's actually pretty normal that
He goes, we sampled 1,000 men and 1,000 women. Turns out 900.
I'm actually normal.
Are a little gay.
This is one girl. He was dating a girl. She basically said, "You banged a dude that's gay," and he was like, he dedicated his whole life to proving how normal it is.
Yeah, he goes, I'm almost to zero.
Yeah,
I'm like as close to zero as possible.
Yeah, can't believe it's not zero. Most people are in the bisexual range. Dr. Jason Hodgson, his name.
Yeah. Doing science.
And Dr. Jason, not straight.
Thou must protest.
Jason Hodgson, more like Jason Hogsuck.
Yeah. This is fucking nonsense.
Jason Modson.
We know more. Jason Modson? No.
He's like a
from the band Modson?
LA influencer singer guy.
Oh, is he
dating Avril Lavigne?
Dating Avril Lavigne, yeah.
A little light in the loafers, probably.
Yeah, probably.
He says sexuality is a spectrum from exclusively hetero to one end, and the genes that influence same sexual behavior are probably the genes that influence general sociability, and that people in the middle range of variation are probably better at all social relationships. So his argument is like, the thing that makes you gay is also the thing that makes you being able to socialize with people, and you're like, yeah, that's not true.
No, I can just not be gay.
I suspect that people would be slightly okay. Whatever.
Look, he does look like a bro, though.
It definitely looks a little bro-y to be writing this
Honestly,
article.
not the guy who I thought he'd be doing the like, hey, everybody might be a little gay.
He also
or he's trying to get a threesome going with two chicks, and he's trying to just.
I mean, I'd love if it was that, but it doesn't sound like it. And he says this: I suspect most people would be slightly in the bisexual range, given the right social circumstances. Like, he's like a gay guy being like, I could flip him.
Yeah, or
like it's like
go to prison for fucking 10 years.
Yeah, you ever hung out with like a sassy gay, like you know, and then and just be like, oh, that guy's straight, and she'll be like, give him 5 minutes of me. And you're just like, I doubt it, but yeah.
I mean, I guess if he's gay,
yeah,
then yeah, that'll work.
I've been conducting research on the men locked in my basement, and given the right social circumstances, most of them seem to flip. That circumstance being whether they want dinner.
Deprive them of water for long enough.
Yeah, given the right circumstance. That social circumstance might be a gun to their head, but...
Thanks, science.
And the last one is the ex-Starbucks employee, straight guy, says he was harassed for being a straight man.
Here we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Justice. I mean, we predicted this when all this stuff was going on. We go, yeah, this is discrimination. This has all this stuff with like white guys, and you go, eventually this is going to come home to roost, and it has.
It has.
You know, all these white guys who are literally like suing for discrimination and winning, and you go, yeah.
This guy didn't have. He's
either you make new laws or like, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
He doesn't have the best case because he doesn't have the specific things. He's basically saying they're bullying him. Mm-hmm. Like his thing was more like they walked in and all the baristas were like,
oh, hey, straight boy.
Oh, look, it's binary man, binary boy.
I mean, Starbucks is probably the largest employer of gay people.
Oh, look, I wanted a zero. Like you, binary boy.
Is there a larger employer of gay people in the United States than Starbucks? Other than like Glad or something?
I guess the Montreal Canadiens Association.
Oh, shots fired.
Yeah. How many people does Love Valley Mail podcast?
Employer 1.5.
Definitely. The Starbucks is fucking up there for sure.
It's the gayest company.
What is the high? Yeah, is there anyone that does more gay people than Starbucks?
I don't think so. It's like it must be minimum 50%. Like it has to be so up there.
Oh, look, it's binary boy. But that might be more in cities. But I don't even think it's just cities. I think that.
No. Yeah, maybe smaller places, but yeah.
What is it? But non-binary people's fuel really is coffee, eh? That's like their.
That's what keeps them going.
It does keep them going. Like if you take away all the coffee, would you lose all the non-binary people?
Now that's the type of science that I would like to see.
What percentage? Like if you look at
like
coffee
let's lock a bunch of non-binary people in a room
with no coffee beans,
no coffee, and just see what happens. Like in 6 months, do they come
back and they're all just playing catch.
Had to pass the time somehow.
I think that would be. I'd like to see that study. Percentage of. Oh, it would hard to do causation because, you'd have to say. Because you go, what came first, the more coffee shops or the non-binary people?
Yeah.
So it's hard to get causation. Is the coffee making them non-binary, or is the non-binary making more coffee shops?
That's a good question. Well, I'd still like to lock them all in a room with no coffee and see how that goes.
It's not just the coffee. It's the making coffee, I think, is their power. I think their power comes from making the coffee.
Yeah. Just the power.
I think brewing, I don't know if it's the brewing the beans or putting the stuff in over top, but something in that process is fueling them.
Yeah, maybe there's some sort of toxoplasmosa thing where there's some compound on coffee beans.
Holy
that
fuck.
Makes you gay.
I think you might be true. There might be some gender bending compound in Starbucks coffee.
Stuff.
But it's not. But it only gets released when the beans are being brewed, so you have to be close enough to the machine to inhale the aromas.
Maybe, or maybe it's the equipment they're using. I don't know.
Something. The Starbucks cash register.
Science, if you're listening.
Science, if you're listening.
Do some science.
Find that out, man. Get to the bottom of that.
You guys have been fucking dropping the ball on science lately. So.
Look at this binary bitch. That's the guy every day just walking into work. What's up? Hi, guys. Hey, fellas. Hey, theys. And then I go, what the fuck did you call me, you binary bitch?
The thing with Starbucks, too, is Starbucks is just going to give this guy 50 grand.
John's on cleanup today. It's like, oops. Get on your hands and knees, you fucking little binary rodent. He's just getting fucked up.
Yeah, but I mean, in America, this is an American story. And in America, you just sue a company and they just go, "Here's 50 grand."
Fucking litigious ass country, man. He says his colleague subjected him to extreme and outrageous mistreatment.
Oh.
What do you think that is? His outfit comes and they've cut the dick hole out, stuff like that.
Making him wear the flags, all the pins. 'Cause I don't want to wear the pins.
Yeah, do you ever, in the Office Space where they basically say they doesn't have enough flair? Yeah, the manager's being like, John, come into my office here. So you only got 19 flags on your shirt. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, something
Do you
wrong?
not care about the cause?
Something going on at home?
Hey, boys, come in here. They're the bullies from Seinfeld.
Sure, yeah. I don't know if it'd be boys, but it'd be something.
Well, the girls would be calling the girls boys.
Yeah, they call them boys.
Hey, gang, John here doesn't think that he should wear the flags.
Because I just have the rainbow flag. Is that not enough?
Yeah, he might win this one. We'll see, though, right?
Yeah, I would bet he's going to win this one.
Yeah, it's hard to say. But, guys, patreon.com/theboyscast. We already got a whole bunch more bangers over there. So do check it out.
Sign up now. It's inflation proof.
That is an inflation. That's a really good point.
Inflation's out of control. I know you guys are fucking getting slammed on
membership stays the same.
Yeah.
It's an inflation-proof membership. Yep. And see everyone in California.
You guys all get older, but the membership stays the same.
And California knows how to party. Los Angeles, Irvine, San Jose, RyanLongComedy.com. Peace.